have any tips for us for if we want to detach from people, especially people we may have known since birth?
Yeah, that's a big one for people. I'm glad you brought it up. So we have to realize that most of us have not been taught detachment. We have been taught the opposite. We've been taught attachment. And so detachment is a skill that we all suck at.
It's okay.
No hate. It's not our fault if no one taught us. Not teachers, not governments, not society, not counselors, not parents, nobody. They're all attached too. If you go meet one of them right now, guarantee you'll find some attachment issues.
Yes.
Unless it's one of the rare 1%.
Most people take pride in being attached to people and things.
Yeah. Or they're addicted to it and their brains can't stop being attached, like you said in your example. So that means most of us are toddler level at detachment. We are not skilled at this. Actually, in my earlier examples, toddlers might actually be better at this than us.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the question of how can I detach from people that are my support system or that I have a super long history with is an advanced question for someone who's a pro at detachment. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. My heart just sank when you said that, though. Won't lie.
Well, all good. It just means you need more practice and you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be trickier than you think. And it's sort of out of order. Like, it's not really the right question to ask. I understand why you might want that goal and be very focused on it. But if you haven't practiced detachment on the little things, how well equipped are you to detach from something like this? A lifelong family member, or lifelong friend, or your entire peer group, or all your addiction buddies, or whatever it is. This is a bit of an ask. I'm not saying it's not doable, but I'm saying it's kind of like asking, how can I cook a 7-course meal with no stove and no barbecue and no microwave?
Wow. So I'm asking for basically the impossible.
No, it might be possible. Maybe you use a tandoor or something, or a magnifying glass or a campfire. But I'm saying it's a bit of a big ask for someone who doesn't really know their way around the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And that person probably would be better served by getting familiar with the kitchen first, or learning what fire does or something. Because once they learn that, it's going to be much easier to, okay, now you can cook the feast. You've done the groundwork. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you're having trouble letting go of some unpaid invoice, or some comment somebody said, or a boundary that got crossed, or a conversation that didn't go the way you wanted it to, if you can't let go of these little fluff things, it might be tricky for you to let go of social connections and family relationships that you've been clinging to for decades. But like I said, it's not impossible, and everyone has topics that are easier and harder for them. So it might be the easiest one for you. It's possible. Right. I don't want to conclude that just because you struggle with invoices or people's comments or whatever, that letting go of a certain social connection won't be easier. It might be. It might actually be easier.
Okay.
But for most people, it's not. Some people are natural at cooking with a campfire, and it will be easier for them. So I'm not going to say they can't cook a feast without a stove, but for most people, it's probably going to be tricky. Mm-hmm. And it gets even trickier because letting go of the invoice doesn't cause any backlash. You let it go, the person doesn't pay, you move on with your life, everybody's happy. There's zero backlash for that.
Yeah.
But letting go of someone who's made you depend on them, or someone who's forged really strong bonds with you, or someone who is just emotional, dramatic, and attached themselves, will generate backlash when you let go. So this is why it's even trickier, because letting go of something is challenging enough for people who are unfamiliar with it, but letting go of something where you get punished and drama and backlash when you do it, it's like, ugh, why even bother? No one wants to detach from this. You see what I'm saying? But it's also the most rewarding. Like, someone who can detach from social connections and abusive people, or people who don't suit them or aren't helping further their goals or helping them reach their dreams, unsupportive people, dramatic people, and so on. If you can let go of that, it's hugely rewarding. Like, it's a massive win. But just know that a lot of people love being offended. A lot of people love taking things personally. They have boring lives. They haven't tapped into their personal power, and they get a little charge of dopamine every time they get self-righteous.
Yeah.
Every time they can point fingers and make you feel guilty and bring others down, they get to lift themselves up a little bit. They love it.